Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with another Dark Dimension 6 video update in regards to the second node now that we've wrapped up the first one here. So we are going to be utilizing the same 5 characters, guys. It's going to be Captain America, Black Widow, Kang the Conqueror, Val, as well as Apocalypse. These 5 got the job done pretty good in my first node, and now we're going to be diving into the playthrough here for the full second node. So make sure you guys follow along as we're progressing here, but this was a very, very good, meaningful attack on this node as well. I'm going to be showcasing for you guys my attack strategy, as well as how to make the most of using these characters that I've utilized here, as well as the attack order. So having said that, guys, let's get right into it. Now, with my first attack, I actually made a really good dent in this node, and it did take a few retries, guys, but hopefully you can at least get some similar strategies here involved in terms of how I was able to get to this point, because we were able to actually take down actually a really sizable chunk in this first initial node. So you're going to start things off here. Hopefully you'll see that attack by Red Hulk, and because of him doing so on my Apocalypse, I was able to actually stun him using a great opportune moment here to use Val and apply that ability block. And thankfully, because of Red Hulk being canceled out there, the nice thing is we can actually get some charges on him, as well as being able to attack him without building up charges. So next up, you can see this is why I love Black Widow, being able to stun that Kate Bishop in the corner, and then ability blocking as well, Voodoo. So we're kind of just distributing the ability blocks all around in this first wave, just because you do want to focus on essentially mitigating damage. But the advantage of doing that now is that we can control them better. We have Kang rewinding and doing some damage there. But really, remember, kind of similar to what we saw with the first node, the key difference maker in the past node really was Val and Apocalypse. But because these guys wrapped up the last node, some of their cooldowns were not reset, especially Apocalypse, where his abilities all reset every time he gets revived, right? So that's why we have to build that energy back up. Red Hulk snaps out of the stun, so now we have to be a little bit more mindful of the fact that he's going to hit us, but thankfully no charges, so we're in a really good spot. I see this opportune moment to activate Val's ultimate, even though none of our allies are down, but it's huge because you can just see how significant and sizable the damage is, and this is how you're going to be making progress in Dark Dimension 6, right? Having these big dents, doing the damage, and really focusing on key enemies. Personally, I went for Ghost Rider first because I know he has that retaliation on his passive. By taking him down, at least we're able to take down enemies and not have to worry about having secondary damage hitting us. So Ghost Rider is the first one I aim for collectively, and then you can see everyone's weakened really well, thanks again to Val. So we go ahead, we stun Kate Bishop again. I just found that when I was doing the nodes, she was just doing a lot of damage, so I just wanted to control her. Using Val's basic now, we were able to cast, obviously having that the additional energy on Sif, so whenever we attack her, the exposure is definitely going to help. We just also need to be mindful of Squirrel Girl, as she can also provide sustain and healing for this team, right? And if you notice in my playthrough here, I'm intentionally trying not to attack Red Hulk because I want to leave him for later on, just because he's just too tanky to deal with, and especially if he gets his ult off, it's just really hard to manage. So at this point, once again, we get a refresh of Val special, being able to ability block that majority in the middle there, and doing really good. We're managing the waves nicely. Unfortunately, it looks like Captain America does actually go down here. He can only do so much, right, with him soaking up damage and otherwise. But where our goal right now is, again, building up Apocalypse, trying to get his abilities back up because we didn't have them ready to get from the get-go, and then we know that we're building up energy as well for Val, so that we can be using the revive when needed, especially since we see Black Widow getting weaker as well. Finally, this is kind of what I've been waiting for. We finally get Apocalypse ultimate off here, and this is the huge moment here. Activating Black Widow special, I love the fact with the speed up, it helps the team overall, and she can shroud herself. Activating Val's ultimate once again, and just look at the dent that we're doing to this wave. This first wave that can be so devastating, but now we finally get a chance to use Apocalypse. Boom. Red Hulk, that's the big one, man. If you can get him down, from that first wave, it's just gonna be huge and make absolutely massive dividends here. Because once you take him down, these other guys are just cleaning up, and you really want to be leaving some of the weaker enemies here so that damage dealers are focused on, and that's why I'm trying to bide my time. And now that we've taken down the big red Hulk, we can really focus in, build up energy again, and try to ability block as much as we can. Just look at how meaningful Val is. You know, absolute must-have, honestly, guys, for this node too. Just the amount of crowd controlling aspect, or and being able to keep these enemies at bay from using their abilities. And again, we're focusing on the enemies with exposure, so that way we are generating energy ready to go here. Fast forwarding here just to save you guys a little bit of time. Next up, we're now just cleaning up and aiming for the enemies that are weaker. So you can see that top left corner being cleaned up there. But remember, we're constantly just trying to save up and build up energy once again. And then when you're ready to go, there's a couple things you can do. You can ability block with Val's special once again, just to control. Build up energy again for Apocalypse, but again, that's going to be the objective, right? Once you're able to, you know, explode with Apocalypse's ultimate, we need to build up his energy again, and especially since when you see some of these enemies doing some pretty notable damage. I would say the Elsas, check down Thor and Alpha, as well as obviously Morbius, because of them doing more damage. And then once you get them out of the way, you can really just start kind of banking up the energy. Gosh, I love Captain America. You know, taunting, granting energy for our team, defense up, offense down. So it's just really huge in terms of the team playing aspect. Just a really functional tank character. When you're ready to go again, I mean, we know that Val's energy is gonna be huge. You can do a couple things: keep ability blocking, save the ultimate when your allies go down. But that's the beauty about having the versatility with such a powerful ability, right? Now at this point with these 5 characters, we're in a really good spot because we can essentially clean this up for the next wave. So at this point, bide your time, take your time with it, slowly picking them down and build up your energy. There we go. Now we finish off Skrull Girl once again here, and now you should be left with these last 3 here. Again, ability blocking is really key, guys. But as you're cleaning up, just be mindful of the fact that down to the last enemy or 2, that's gonna be when the prompting of the next wave does come. So you just want to be mindful of that. Obviously, not a great position to be in. As you can see, my Apocalypse actually was getting quite weak here. So you just need to be watchful of the attacks, because remember, these enemies hit hard. What I probably should have done is taken down the Thor sooner, because he actually hits pretty hard. So obviously at this point you're not going to be perfect when you're making these attempts, but you always trying to aim for the damage dealers here. And obviously it was nice because the exposure was on both these characters, so we knew that we could obviously get away with obviously getting energy and so forth. Get a chance to finish off Voodoo there, and boom, this is the next wave. So at 23 out of 36 enemies remaining, guys, this is where you want to be. All my guys fully healed up. We have Apocalypse's ultimate ready to go, and that's kind of what we do. I'm surveying the land, seeing who I want to take down first, because we're seeing that this is a really big mix mash of strong offensive enemies. You know, especially with Hela, Iron Man Zombie, a couple Elsas, Loki. So I mean, there's just a lot of things going on in this wave, and this is how I'm gonna do it, obviously. But if you guys feel free, take down the enemies you think is best. But I always aim for the damage dealers. I always try to take down the pain points, right? So I know Hela has a very devastating ultimate ability, so I'm kind of targeting her right now, reducing turn meter, Kang dealing the devastating damage, and I also know the value of Val's ultimate as well. You know, just having that ability to be able to take down a big chunk of enemies, but at the same time, we can also play it by ear by ability blocking that side too. So just be mindful of that option when needed. Sometimes you want to start things off right away. I see Captain America goes down, so I'm like, shoot, I gotta make a move here, because this could be where things go really south really fast. So I don't know, maybe I should have used the ultimate right from the get-go, and we would have taken down more enemies. But I mean, to be honest, I wasn't really sure about the burst damage coming from this wave. So thankfully my Apocalypse ult did land on Hela to take down a big chunk, and then now we have Val's backup option with the revive here. So we activate the ultimate, giving us a second win chance here, bringing back both Kang and Captain America. So that's exactly kind of how you would want to draw it up. And gosh, look at that passive healing with Kang. That was huge. Basically brought back from the depths of hell, right? So Hela's down, and we're looking really good. We know that Iron Man Zombie has synergy with Hela, so now that she's down, we can definitely focus on him. But keep in mind, there's still a boatload of damage dealers, right? And we have to be mindful of Loki having that exposure. Building up energy for Val is at utmost importance, especially when we want to continually build up those ability blocks and so forth. So you can see kind of the general pattern here, guys. We have, you know, Apocalypse being able to ability block as well, but we keep getting the energy back, so that way we are going to be helping Val get that energy, so we can constantly keep these waves in check. And when these enemies aren't able to use their abilities, it's really just up to their basic ability. But man, you can see just how hard they can hit, even you know, just with their basic abilities. They hit quite hard. And again, we're just trying to survive and do the best we can. Again, Black Widow with the natural protection and stealth and giving the speed up to the team. Huge. I love the fact that she also has synergy with Captain America to cleanse negatives. So, I mean, it's not great, but I mean, it's still better than nothing, right? So, another opportunity here. Again, landing the Val special on that cluster of enemies to the left. Unfortunately, Captain America does go down. But we're doing such a great, you know, amount of damage on this first attack. And keep in mind, this is the very first attack, so I'm feeling really good about this. Regardless if we all drop now, we know that this was a huge first attempt. And I'm being more conservative now. I'm taking a look. I'm surveying the enemies we're up against. This is kind of where you would start, you know, debating, should I use my abilities if everyone's going to go down? I still stunned because I was thinking, oh, well, we still have hope. The moment you still have Val's ultimate, you always have hope. So boom. Well, once again, look at that damage. Rinse and repeat. Apocalypse ultimate. Rinse and repeat with Val reviving your own back. And look at this. It's like we're almost you know, going for a one shot here. And just look how I definitely think this node 2 is easier than node 1, and this kind of shows it all, right? There was a lot more RNG involved, but also though, I was lucky in the sense that I started off the node with Val's cooldowns ready to go, because that's something we didn't have in the first node, and because we carried that forward from the previous node, that's why it's really important, guys. So this last wave now, finally, I think this is probably the hardest section of this node, because you can see we're up against a lot of damage dealers. More specifically though, a couple of those Ghost Riders, you know, a couple Red Hulk and Apocalypse in that corner, so that's something to definitely be mindful of. And to be quite honest, I was just thinking about, oh wow, like how much cooldowns am I doing, and really trying to apply the offense down, and obviously stripping away positive bust. But we have to remember, same strategy as the first wave. We want to be mindful of not hitting that Red Hulk in the corner, just because if he builds up charges and uses his abilities, you know, it's bad news for us. We're also up against a Hela too, so once again, Hela is a pain point because she can spread a lot of negatives if they inflict anything on us, and that's why I, you know, opted to use Val's special there, just to kind of control that right side, staying away from the left, because we know there's gonna be some ability usage from Red Hulk as well as Apocalypse. And keep in mind, you know, we know Apocalypse's order too. He's gonna be using his special first, followed by his ultimate. So at that point, I'm kind of thinking, yeah, I don't know if I can one-shot this all the way, just because it's hard to get through Apocalypse's ability. So we're better off probably at least doing as much damage as we can, and at least trying to see if we can utilize or get him to throw away his ult, and then we can start off the next attack here with some really meaningful progress. So right away, boom, my Val goes down, so we know it's game over. The revives aren't coming back. My Kang is stunned. It looks pretty bad. It looks pretty bad, right? And then boom, there you go. My team just gets wiped out. These guys are high damage dealers. Unfortunately, I'm not able to utilize Apocalypse's ultimate there, but a very good first attempt. And the massive amount of damage on this first attempt was huge, guys. So allow me to show you guys how that did, because again, look at that portion right there. Boom, you know, more than half. Like, that's absolutely huge. And then with my second attack, I kind of figured that we weren't going to get anywhere, because we knew they didn't use their abilities yet. So you can see this is kind of how things started, right? I switched up the order of my guys, because I was just basically trying to see if I can survive. And keep in mind, we know Apocalypse now, because he was wiped out from the last attempt, we know his abilities are good now, so we can get him to use his ultimate, as well as being able to cast that empowered, you know, one shot, or do that 70-80% HP reduction. It's huge. But boom, I forgot that, you know, the Apocalypse on their side actually didn't use his abilities yet. So then I realized, okay, we're better off just letting them use their abilities, because basically it's become a sacrificial attempt here, and all we can really do is generate energy as much as possible and basically just take it, because that's pretty much all we can do. Apocalypse finally uses the ult, boom, another failed attempt. However, now we're in a great place to do some meaningful damage. Yeah, sorry guys, and I'm not sure what happened, but I lost one of the video recordings for the third attack that I did. So what you just saw in my attack 2, I was able to take down Red Hulk on the left side with an attempt. As you see, there's a few guys left in the left there, and this is the aftermath. This is my fourth attack, but yeah, my apologies. Hopefully you can at least conclude from who's still lasting in this wave from the last attack that I was able to focus on, because it was only a total of 4 attacks, but for whatever reason my recording for the third attack just didn't run through, or maybe it got lost, but not sure what happened there. But this is the last attempt, guys. So as you can see, we're finally in a good spot here, and what I wanted to do at this point then was leave Apocalypse for the end, because we wanted to see at least we can take down the surrounding cast like Red Hulk from the previous, as well as the Ghost Rider, taking away those damage dealers, right? Now we're in a really good spot, because at this point there's only a couple damage dealers remaining. So I mean, that's Thor, Elsa, Morbius. We want to be leaving just the ultimates and so forth for Apocalypse himself. So something to be mindful of here when you guys are going through. I think leaving Apocalypse for the end is not a bad deal, to be honest, because of the fact that he has huge cooldowns, and if you're able to get a good attack on him, you know, that's going to be the difference maker. See, just like that, I was super excited, because I was able to finally land my Apocalypse ultimate on the mirroring Apocalypse, and we know that Val still has the ultimate ability coming, so that's going to be more than enough, and that should be the goal, right? Once you're able to take down, you know, Red Hulk as a main objective in the previous in this initial wave when it first came out, then focus on Apocalypse if you're able to, because you know, otherwise he's going to heal up with his abilities, and that's where he gets super dangerous. So we know our ult's going to work. We know we're going to bring back Captain America. Boom, Apocalypse goes down, and at this point I know I got this in the bag, because we were able to wipe out Red Hulk and Apocalypse from this wave, and they were the pain points for this node. So yeah, I think much better than the previous node, to be honest, like the node 1, because we took 6 attacks, but I think just because we were able to carry over the momentum from last node, such as the cooldowns and abilities, it allowed us to really thrive. At this point, I would recommend focusing damage dealers here, so that way you are able to at least save up some energy. You know, leaving characters like, you know, Squirrel Girl, Hela with the Greg minion can help you kind of generate energy back. But keep in mind, just look at all the passive attacks that Hela's doing. So you know, this was getting a little embarrassing, because we see that, you know, they're already hanging by a thread, but we're still having to obviously be cautious here, because these guys just hit so hard. And I don't know, like I didn't really want to waste another ultimate, to be honest, so I was okay with these guys being dead. But you can see at least they were ability blocked before my team went down. So damage dealers here, you know, love Black Widow. Oh my goodness, she's been such a hidden gem for these nodes, just because her speed up. Yes, she's squishier than the rest of the team, but her speed ups helped significantly. Her synergy, obviously with Captain America. And as well, we've seen that her stun has been very timely, and it's saved us in some pinch instances. You know, especially when we're trying to conserve energy, and we just need that stun to basically buy some time. So as you can see, like I said, try to leave Squirrel Girl for the very end. And you know what's funny is, like, she still hits really hard. As you can see, she almost like 2-shot Kang there. But I mean, the reason why is because she can heal and she can sustain herself, that we can generate some more attacks on her. As you can see, like, I'm just trying to like build up my Black Widow stun again for the global nodes, and then we're just trying to be more prepared, right? We're not using any abilities at this point. We're just trying to see if we can passively take her down with the basics, which we are going to eventually get to. As you can see, the damage just scales really well, especially with Kang being such a huge offensive option for us. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend using any abilities, guys, because we want to operate with the onus that, you know, we're going to be starting things off with a bang. Although Captain America and Apocalypse went down, this was ideal, because we know that Apocalypse's abilities are going to get refreshed. So again, my apologies, guys. As you can see, 4 attacks. Unfortunately lost footage of attack 3, but hopefully this is able to at least help you guys navigate and see kind of my attack order. Attack 3 was to focus on Red Hulk. Attack 4 wrapping things up with Apocalypse and really cleaning up and trying to conserve as much energy as possible before the last and final enemies remain. And for those of you interested, I always like taking a look at this at the very end. I want to see how I was doing in terms of finishing the node 2. Remember guys, 100% free to play. Huge management resource. I love this. Ranking top 700 right now. I'll keep you guys posted. Thank you as always. Do appreciate you checking my videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.